Right now, as you read this, you are covered in trillions of living things. They are on your fingertips. They are in your eyebrows. They are nestled deep inside your belly button, in a colony that has probably been growing undisturbed for years. You cannot see them, you cannot feel them, but if you could shrink down and stand on your own forearm, you would be standing in a rainforest. That is not an exaggeration. It is closer to the literal truth. For most of your life, you have probably thought of your skin as a wall, a barrier, the thing that separates you from the world. But your skin is not a wall. It is a landscape. It has deserts, it has oceans, it has forests, and every single one of those environments is packed with its own unique population of bacteria, fungi, and microscopic mites that have adapted to live nowhere else on your body but that exact spot. So what if you could actually see them? What if, for just one day, your skin lit up under a microscope you carried with you everywhere, showing every organism crawling across your body in real time? Would you be disgusted? Or would you realize that the thing you call you has never actually been just you at all? Let's start with the numbers, because the numbers alone should stop you. Scientists estimate that the human body carries somewhere around 40 trillion microbial cells. Your own human cells number around 30 trillion. Do the math, and it becomes almost impossible to say where you end and your microbes begin. You are, by cell count, barely majority human. Most of that vast community lives in your gut, but a huge portion of it lives on your skin, and skin bacteria behave completely differently than gut bacteria. Your gut is warm, wet, and dark. Your skin is exposed, dry in places, oily in others, and constantly bombarded by sunlight, soap, and friction. Surviving there requires a different kind of organism entirely. This is where the work of Dr. Elizabeth Grice becomes essential to understanding your own body. In a landmark study published in the journal Science, Grice and her team at the National Human Genome Research Institute mapped the bacterial communities living across different regions of human skin. What they found reshaped how scientists think about the human body. They discovered that your skin is not one habitat. It is many. The dry skin on your forearm hosts a completely different community of bacteria than the oily skin beside your nose. The moist skin behind your knee is home to yet another distinct population, one that thrives in humidity the way a swamp thrives in a river delta. Grice's team found that these communities were so consistent and so specific to location that, in theory, you could identify which part of someone's body a skin sample came from just by analyzing which bacteria were present. Your elbow has its own ecosystem. Your armpit has its own ecosystem. Your scalp has its own ecosystem. And none of them look anything alike. Picture it as a map of the world stretched across your body. Your dry forearms are the deserts, home to hardy bacteria that can survive with little moisture. Your oily face and back are the rainforest, dense with life feeding on the natural oils your skin produces. Your moist armpits and the skin between your toes are the wetlands, thick with humidity-loving species. Every time you shower, every time you sweat, every time you touch a doorknob, you are reshaping these tiny ecosystems, sometimes wiping entire populations out and giving new ones a chance to move in. Here is where it gets stranger. Your belly button, that small, sheltered fold of skin, has been found in some studies to contain dozens of different species of bacteria, some of which had never been formally documented anywhere else on Earth before scientists looked closely. A citizen science project called the Belly Button Biodiversity Project, run out of North Carolina State University, asked ordinary people to swab their navels and send in samples. Researchers found species that were entirely new to science, quietly living in one of the most overlooked corners of the human body. Does that surprise you? It probably should. We have mapped the ocean floor and sent robots to Mars, and yet an untouched fold of skin an inch from your own hands can still contain something science has never named. But not all of these microscopic residents are simply passengers. Many of them are doing you an enormous favor. Your skin bacteria are part of your immune defense system. They compete with harmful pathogens for space and resources, essentially crowding out dangerous invaders before they ever get the chance to cause an infection. Certain strains of Staphylococcus epidermidis, a bacterium found almost universally on human skin, have been shown in research to produce compounds that directly inhibit the growth of more dangerous bacterial species. Your skin bacteria are, in a very real sense, tiny bodyguards, standing sentry on every inch of your surface. This changes the story completely. You did not inherit a body that fights bacteria alone. You inherited a body that recruited an army of them and gave them free housing in exchange for protection. Think about what that means the next time you reach for antibacterial soap. Dr. Martin Blaser, a physician and microbiologist who has spent decades studying the human microbiome, has argued in his research and writing that modern society's obsession with sterility may be quietly damaging this ancient partnership. Overuse of antibacterial products, frequent antibiotic use, and increasingly sanitized environments can wipe out beneficial bacterial populations along with the harmful ones. Once wiped out, some of these populations do not simply grow back the way a lawn regrows after mowing. Diversity can be lost, and once lost, it can be difficult to rebuild. This does not mean hygiene is bad for you. It means the story is more complicated than kill all the germs. Some of those germs were never your enemy. Some of them were the reason certain infections never had a chance to take hold in the first place. So where did all of this come from? When did you first meet your microbes? The answer might surprise you. It begins the moment you were born. Research led by Dr. Rob Knight, a microbiologist known for his work mapping the human microbiome through large-scale genetic sequencing projects, found that babies born vaginally are coated in a specific set of bacteria as they pass through the birth canal, seeding their skin and gut with their mother's microbial signature. Babies born via cesarean section pick up a different starting population, often reflecting the bacteria present on skin and in hospital environments instead. That first exposure in the very first minutes of life begins shaping a microbial community that will influence your skin and immune system for years afterward. You did not choose your first bacteria. They were given to you like a family heirloom, passed down not through instruction, but through simple physical contact. And your skin microbiome keeps shifting after that. It changes with puberty as oil production increases and creates new opportunities for oil-loving bacteria to flourish. It changes with age as skin becomes drier and shifts the balance yet again. It even changes with where you live, what climate surrounds you, what pets you touch, and who you hug. Every handshake is a tiny transfer of ecosystems. Every hug swaps populations between two people, silently, invisibly, permanently altering both of you in some small way. If you could truly see it all glowing under some imaginary microscope strapped to your eyes, you would watch these transfers happen constantly. A doorknob would look like a crowded train station platform, teeming with organisms waiting to board their next host. Your dog's fur would look like a bustling market street. Your own skin would look less like a static photograph and more like a living, shifting weather system, communities rising and falling with every shower, every touch, every day. The human body has always been described as a fortress, a single unified structure defending itself against an outside world of germs. But that description was never quite right. Your body is closer to a coral reef. It is a structure built by one organism that provides a home for countless others, all of them working together, some in cooperation, some in quiet competition, to keep the whole reef alive. You were never really alone in your own skin. So the next time you look down at your own hand or catch a glimpse of your arm in the mirror, remember that what you are looking at is not simply human. It is a living map, layered with invisible cities of bacteria that have called your body home since the day you were born. Cities that shift and rebuild themselves every single day without you ever noticing. Right now, as you finish reading this, you are still covered in trillions of living things. And for the first time, maybe you can finally see them.